Kaiji weighs his options, thinking if he wins, his debt is clear. If he loses, he'll basically be a slave for 2 years. But his life sucks, so he doesn't know what to choose. This is Chapter 2. Indu, staring out the window, says, "Have you decided?" with a shit-eating grin on his face. Kaiji, struggling to decide, wants to ask a question to help him make a decision. Kaiji wants to know what gamble will be played on the ship and what labors will they be doing. Indu laughs. Indu tells Kaiji he's sorry, but he can't answer any of his questions. Kaiji says, "What, you can't answer?" basically thinking it's bullshit. But Indu tells him it would be unfair to the other participants if Kaiji knew what would happen on the ship. He says on the ship people will use all sorts of schemes to win, and that they should avoid any unfairness until Kaiji gets on the ship. Indu states really he doesn't know anything about the ship anyway. He's just a recruiter. Kaiji, out of anger, tells Indu that it's irresponsible on his part. Indu tells Kaiji to relax. The ship is completely safe. He tells Kaiji the cruise is sponsored by a major finance company everyone knows about, and that there's no evil intent on the boat. The ship's purpose is to save debtors. Kaiji questions Indu, and rightfully so. This cruise sounds too good to be true. Indu continues to convince Kaiji. Indu states that if you win, your debt is clear, you're saved. That the ship is for young people with debt. They make the mistake of borrowing millions while young. Indu calls them a bunch of fools, stating as time goes on, the debt increases till their expenses are unbearable. Those who are smart will do something to rise in the world. And that is the ship. He explains the losers will have their debts increase. Indu is very persuasive. It's sad, but Kaiji is trapped. If he doesn't get on the ship, he'll have to pay the interest on his debt. Indu also explains the sponsors don't collect any money from the ship. Its participants fight each other. And every time, about half return. Kaiji says only half. Yep, Indu says. But you can trust it. Indu asks Kaiji what he thinks. Kaiji struggles to make a decision, even though his life is hanging in the balance. Indu says, "I think you're a good candidate for the ship." Kaiji wonders what Indu means. Indu asks, "Aren't you feeling shitty every day even now?" Kaiji thinks, well, Indu lays it flat out. It's 'cause you have no money. He says you can't get any money, so every day seems unreal. Like you're in a fog. Here is my favorite part of the dialogue from Indu. He speaks on how everyone would shoot a goal if it was reachable. But if the goal was too high, no one would try. And that's exactly how people feel about money. I would shoot at the goal that was unreachable. 'Cause if I make it, the sky's the limit. Indu tells Kaiji he's just like that. Won't shoot at the unreachable goal. He looks at nice things through a window. It's unreachable to him. Indu tells Kaiji, thinking certain cars and clothes are unreachable, and the thought of not being able to buy them stresses him out, and that the stress is literally killing Kaiji. He calls Kaiji out, saying he destroys nice cars. He asks, if Kaiji had 10 million, would he do something like that? Indu tells him, on the cruise Kaiji could win 10 million. Get on that ship, he says. Win, Kaiji. Win and win big. Change your life. This speech awakens something in Kaiji. Suddenly the phone rings. One of Indu's men answers. He calls Indu over to the phone, saying it's Yoshi-san. As Indu takes the phone call, Kaiji weighs his options. He thinks about how he can't trust the Yakuza, but he can't lie to himself. Indu did tell the truth about Kaiji's life, but he can't focus because of Indu's chatter. Indu hangs up the phone and tells Kaiji there's only 2 seats left on the ship. He tells Kaiji to decide quickly. He's not the only one recruiting. The phone rings. Indu answers, hello, Indu Finance. Kaiji thinking to himself, still doing what he's always done, letting opportunities pass him by. Indu hangs up with bad news. There are no more seats left. Kaiji, in a panic, begs Indu for another chance. Indu telling him he hesitated too long and that it's Kaiji's fault. Kaiji begs Indu, please can't you do anything? So Indu says okay, he'll try. Appearing to be helping Kaiji. He gets back on the phone. Kaiji prays, desperate for another chance. Indu got him in despite there being no more seats. Kaiji not seeing how he's being led to the slaughter. Indu says quickly, we don't have time to waste. Pulls out a contract. Tells Kaiji to sign. And just like that, Kaiji signs and leaves. Leaving Indu standing there with a big smile on his face, contract in hand. He says, you can come out now. A black suit man comes in from the closet, holding a cell phone. They begin to discuss their plan. how the man in the closet was the one who called in due, and how this method is used to close a deal with clients in real estate, how they have an objective for the clients. They use the phones to make it look like it's in high demand. They fake the buyers to force the client to sign. His henchman pours him a drink. They finally reach the quoted 10 people. Indu slams the contract down on the table, calling Kaiji an idiot. Indu talks to his henchman, saying it was difficult to get Kaiji to sign, and how it's a little saddening. Talking about how Kaiji can't get off the ship, no matter what he does. And that while Indu was talking on the phone, during the fake call, he learned quite a bit about Kaiji, and that he thinks Kaiji's a good man, and that kind of man can't help but be a target for the Yakuza. And Indu says, I sure ain't a good man. The cruise sure sounds sweet to a fool like that. They are the best prey. This chapter was very telling. My favorite part is Indu's speech about how people see their goals in life, and how most people go for what's easiest, instead of going for the unreachable. Thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
ゴミって感じだろう。無気力で自堕落で非生産的だろう。まあ、どうして今そうなのかわかるか？いや、金を掴んでないからだ。金？ああ。金がないから毎日がリアルじゃない。例えばバスケットボールのゴールが100メートル上空にあってみろ。誰もボールを投げようとはしない。今のお前はその届かないゴールにうんざりしてる。欲しいものがあっても全部ショーウィンドウの向こう側。お前には届かない。その買えないストレスがお前から覇気をなくし、まっさかな気持ちを殺している。お前、会社にいたずらしてたろ。あれなんかその典型的な現れ。会社が欲しいのに自分のものにしようと考えられない。鼻から諦め、ケチないたずらをして満足してる。お前は1000万あったらあんなまねするか？しないだろう。